Thank you so much for stopping over. I'm Tasha, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I recently picked up the Mother Mary Oracle and wanted to share with you these awesome cards. I really like them. I've only looked through them a couple of times and I haven't had a chance to really take a serious look at them, so I thought it would be fun to do it on YouTube with you guys and we can take a look at them together. This deck is by Alana Fairchild and it's illustrated by Shiloh Sophia McCloud. Comes with 44 cards in a guidebook set. I really like the box. It's nice and sturdy and hefty. And I love the red on the inside. Came with this little protectant sheet. And then the guidebook, which is pretty decent. Like, that's not a little white book. That's a really nice guidebook in my opinion. And there's a lot of information about each of the cards, so I'll show you. Let's go right here. It's got like nice little introduction, and then how to use the book. There's 2 different spreads you can use. The past, present, future layout, your pretty standard one, and then the descending dove of grace layout. And it says you can use this special layout for a deeper spiritual guidance session with the Divine Mother Mary. Simply shuffle the cards and choose 1 card for each of the 7 positions. Then read the guidebook for each card message, blah, blah, blah. So position 1, what issue have you been successfully working through? 2 is, what issue have you been working through that is more challenging for you? What guidance, what gift is coming from your current efforts? What guidance is there for you to understand? And what is the overall message of the grace from the Divine Mother for you now? So, cool. And then it gets into the cards. So this is pretty decent. Like, this is a really good explanation of the card, and then a healing process and affirmation for each one. So let's just take a look at what this one says. So it's the first card's Our Lady of the Sacred Hearth. It says, you are my child, I am your mother. Your home, through my grace, is always secure. You are never to fear being lost and abandoned. Your home is provided through my grace. You always have a home to return through my grace. Surrender attachment and fear now, my cherished one. There is no need for it. Do you think that I would forget what you truly need? That I would deny you this? You who have belonged to me through all time and are my child, under my care and protection, let go of all such worries now and pray to me. I will assist you. So that's kind of cool. So they all have a nice little verse there, and then like a deeper explanation of the card, and then these little healing processes. So I think they're kind of spells, but maybe they're just using process to appeal to everybody. Visualize yourself surrounded by a beautiful blue field of light. Let the blue be whatever shade feels good, from the lighter sky deep blue to the deepest indigo. Imagine that the blue field of light is dappled with shining white flecks of light like stars in the sky. So it's kind of like a visualization, and then you kind of say, like, I call upon the Holy Mother Mary, Our Lady of the Sacred Hearth, and I ask for your divine protection, intervention, and guidance. And it kind of goes like that. So it's kind of like a prayer, little affirmation. And there's one for each of the cards, which I think is really awesome. Like, this is a decent, I shouldn't even say decent, this is an awesome guidebook. Like, if you were looking for advice or, you know, deep dives into these cards, I think you would get it from this book. So I think that's awesome. I think that's something that oracle cards succeed in almost better sometimes than tarot cards, because I find the guidebooks a lot of times with oracle cards are a lot more in depth. Maybe that's just my experience. What do you think? This is the back. They're very shiny. They're big. They're very big cards, which is hard to shuffle, but we'll get through that. They're really shiny and pretty. I'll just move that. We can take a look at each one. So this is our first card. I'm trying to get that light to not reflect on them. Our Lady of the Sacred Hearth. Our Lady of the Whispering Heart. I love that one. That one's so pretty. I love the white flowers. Our Lady of Becoming. Beautiful roses. Love how they have Mary represented in different ways. Like here, she's very much like a Mother Nature kind of feel. But then you also have like those Catholic images throughout too. It's just, I like the fusion of it. Like a lot of people, I came to witchcraft and all of this from being Catholic, being raised Catholic as a kid. So I've always had that connection to Divine Mother Mary, and I can't really let that go regardless of how witchy my life is. I've always felt a connection to her. So when I saw this deck, I was like, I have to get this to continue to deepen my work with her. Our Lady of Dark Mysteries, like, gorgeous. So vibrant, so pretty. I like these too if you read tarot professionally and you have a mixed faith people coming in. This might be a nice kind of deck to pull a card from to put people at ease or make them feel good. Love the eggs. That's our cover card. Our cover girl, Our Lady of Passion. Love it. More little eggs. I love this one. Our Lady of Creative Choice. She is gorgeous. She kind of reminds me of just like kind of a modern Mary. Like I could see this lady having a YouTube channel or something. Oh, look at that. Okay, this one, honestly. Okay, I'll show you. I won't talk about it over here. This one's kind of scary. That face. Unless on my eyeballs, like, are totally seeing this wrong, but like that face, that shit looks demonic. I hope I'm seeing this wrong. Maybe I'm not, like, is that not her two eyes and her nose and like, I don't know. It almost looks spooky to me, but I also totally love her vibe. But she's kind of got a spooky, like, Insidious face or something going on here. Our Lady of Manifest Miracles. I love it. I love that we have all kinds of beautiful bodies being represented, cultures, people. It's just, I think that makes it even better. Our Lady of Peaceful Change. Mary can apply to everybody, I think. And I always feel like if you felt drawn to her or connected to her when you were Christian and you've become Wiccan or, you know, gotten into witchcraft or following a goddess path or anything like that, and you miss working with her, or maybe you miss the way that it felt having a connection to Mary, you don't have to stop that because you're pagan or you're a witch or you're following a different faith. Like, you don't have to change or sever a connection that you have with a divine being just because people in a church tell you can't. Like, that's human, that's man, that's not spirit. So if you feel a connection to her, I feel like you don't have to sever that. Same goes for people who are Christian witches and they have a connection to Jesus. I don't know why that's so bad. I don't know why that that matters. Like, who cares if someone wants to work with Jesus? Just like if someone wants to work with Lucifer or an angel or whatever, like, as long as you're doing it from a respectful, kind place, I think that that's okay. But I'll get off my soapbox because look at this gorgeous card, guys. Our Lady of the Resurrection. Come on. The owl, the heart. They look kind of like peonies. Like, oh, beautiful. Our Lady of the Inner Gate. Speaking of peonies, I've got some coming up in my garden now. And my neighbor just gave me a whole bunch. And they're beautiful and all, but they're kind of a pain in the ass. Like, they're always falling over. I got to stake them up. Like, what kind of flower grows its head so heavy that it can't hold itself up? Like, come on. But they are beautiful. And they look beautiful in her crown. So, look at this. I love the blues and the teals. These almost remind me of like stars, like kind of like the night sky, which I assume maybe that's why it's called the Lady of the Star Blossom, but I just, beautiful. I can't wait to use these. I haven't used them yet at all. I'll just kind of flick through them. I let my mom flick through them. I can't talk. But this is kind of the first time really getting to really look at them, and just incredible. Oh, the roses. Our Lady who prevents interference. We all need her during like the Mercury retrograde. Like, oh, beautiful. Oh, look at this. Very kind of Bridget, eh? Like, I don't know. That gives me Bridget vibes. Our Lady of the Rose Child. I wonder, because I really don't know, like, if... I'm assuming that all of these different little things, like Rose Child, I know like the star, like Stella Maris and everything is connected. So I'm curious to kind of learn more about these different aspects of Mary and different ways of seeing her. I think these cards could really open like a rabbit hole if you wanted to. Oh, look at the colors on that. I hope you like these. I hope you like them as much as I do. I think they're so cool. Our Lady of Great Power. Look at the little lovebirds and the art. Like, it's gorgeous. The colors. I'm really excited to use these. This gives me total moon goddess vibes. I love it. I just love how they have her like represented in so many ways. Yeah. And like old school kind of representations, the more modern kind of looks. Like there's all kinds of different things going on, different styles, like different art, but it all kind of flows together. Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth. And I love the names. I'm a water sign, so I find I'm always drawn to like watery kind of images. Those are the cards that I'm always like, oh my gosh. Beautiful. There's our eggs again. Going to definitely look at the egg association. If you know what the egg association is, please share it with me. I would love to know. So awesome. I almost feel like they almost feel like they should be textured or something. Like I feel like I could pick it up. Wow. Just very strong, beautiful, feminine energy from these. Wow. Our Lady with the moon at her feet. It's our little high priestess vibes too. Love that one too. Could see these on like a spring altar or summer altar. I mean, you can find all the seasons in here, I'm sure, but just so, like, the art is so pretty that I don't want to keep these in a box. Like, I kind of want to have them all over my house. My husband's going to be like, what is going on, Tasha? What are you doing? I love it. Love. I keep saying it, I know, but I love it. The hand. More eggs and a little bird. So that's definitely a thing. I'm gonna have to learn more about it. Wow. Our Lady of Love. And our last one, Our Lady of Charity. Look how beautiful that is. Gorgeous she is. Like, look at the details. Do you imagine like pulling a card and getting one of these? Like, just awesome. So I'm gonna pull us one and read what the message is for you before we go. They won't be shuffled very good. I find shuffling new cards is always super tough for a bit. That's why I love my old tarot cards that I've been using for like 17 years. Oh geez, oh geez, oh geez. You're ever reading cards for people and then like a bunch fall out of the, like you tell them like, oh, if one falls out, like grab it and put it aside, and then like they're shuffling and like 1,000 fall out and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna be here all night. Okay. Okay. Our card is Our Lady of the Sacred Sun. Let's see what Our Lady of the Sacred Sun's all about. 15. Our Lady of the Sacred Sun. My beloved Son, my Christ, lives in your hearts, for you are the sons and daughters of love. The Christ is a consciousness of love that belongs to every human soul and will awaken in those that are ready to receive it now through my grace. I ask you to realize that you carry this divine flame of love within. For you, my sons and daughters, it is time for a divine awakening of sacred masculine energy within you now. Just as I birthed the Christ child through love, so too will you birth enlightened divine masculine energy through the love and power of the divine feminine now. This is your time for sacred birth. That's very fitting because right now as I'm filming it, it's going to be Beltane on Saturday, so it's really kind of like, whoa, that makes perfect sense. Anyways, it also continues. The divine Christ lives in the hearts of men and women as divine love and passionate service of the divine light. Irrespective of religious persuasion, the divine light is in whatever form we believe it to be, whether that be Allah or God or Krishna or Shiva or a guru or the universe or anything else for that matter. Provided that it is love that you are serving, then the Christ consciousness or unconditional divine wisdom, love and power that the Holy Mother seeks to awaken with us can live in you. Our Lady of the Sacred Sun speaks to us of a healed masculine consciousness, of the Christ awakening in men and women. This becomes possible through the love and power of the divine feminine awakened. The divine feminine holds a space for love, for acceptance of all beings, for truth and for compassion, so that a new masculinity can emerge in modern humanity. Healed masculine consciousness is what allows us to discern and make choices and to set boundaries. It allows us to say yes or no based on our own values, which are not blindly adopted from our family or society, but distilled from our own innermost feelings and heart wisdom. A healed divine masculine gives us the courage to live our own life and the strength that we need to honor our own individuality and making choices that feel truthful for us. It enables us to understand that our divine gift of self is meant to be lived as authentically and honestly as possible. A healed divine masculine consciousness is freed from needing approval through popular opinion or being liked by fulfilling the expectations or conditions that others may seek to impose. A healed divine masculine consciousness is empowered to accept and honor the self, accepting one's sexuality, individuality, and particular self with all its quirks. It can do this because it understands the divine lives in all beings, and no one is required to be the same as anyone else in order to be worthy of complete, unconditional divine love. I really like that, and I'm going to say it just one more time for the people in the back. It can do this because it understands that the divine lives in all beings, and no one is required to be the same as anyone else in order to be worthy of complete, unconditional divine love. You are worthy of unconditional divine love. The divine consciousness of the Christ is willing to live truthfully, even when it ruffles feathers or shakes foundations. It understands that truth will be preserved, even through great transformation or upheaval of change. The consciousness is willing to live truthfully, even when that means letting go of lower vibrational relationship patterns that are based in fear and judgment, control, or power. We let go of these patterns in order to open up to new ways of relating, which are based in truth and acceptance, discernment and freedom of choice. When we are entering more deeply into the higher consciousness, change happens. And then it continues on. I'm not going to read this whole book, so I'm going to skip that. Nice message. You are divine. You should be loved. You deserve love. Healing process and affirmation. Start with the prayer. I call upon Our Lady of the Sacred Son, upon Mary, Mother Mary, and the Christ, who love me unconditionally. And I ask for your healing, support, guidance, and protection now. Thank you, and so be it. You see a beautiful woman in blue robes holding a child. The child is powerful, as is the mother. Together they radiate an unbreakable force of golden light, which repels anything that is not unconditional love. Visualize that you are the child now, being held by the beautiful woman in blue robes. A golden field of energy surrounds you, and you are completely safe. Feel the love and power of this, and in your own time, when ready, complete your healing with the following prayer of affirmation said aloud if possible 3 times. The powerful love generated by Mother Mary and the Christ lives in me. It radiates from me in complete divine strength, power, and protection, now and always, so be it. So really cool, really nice. Heavy Christian, obviously, but it's Mother Mary, so I suppose we shouldn't expect anything else. But it's beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to using it, and I hope you really, really liked it. And just thank you for hanging out with me. I know it's been a little bit, but I've been just kind of getting my puppy, getting Dublin trained and associated in the house. Paul took a new job. He's really happy. That's awesome. But just a lot of changes happening in the Tasha household. But I'm happy to have the time and to be here with you hanging out now. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing night, and may the wonderful blessings of Mary be with you. See ya.